Alright, great video blog for you. This one comes from Pablo. He's in Naples, Florida. And he's asking the million-dollar question. How long do you spend in the gym? How long do you work out for? What's the duration for the maximum results? Or when does it start to hit the point of no return when it starts to become a detriment? Let me read his question. I'm going to get into this for you. He goes, hey Greg, big fan. Thanks for throwing so much motivation and knowledge out there. It really makes me happy there are people like you in this world willing to give so much for others. Getting down to the point, my question is about the duration of workouts depending on your current state. I've noticed that your workouts are really intense with minimal rest in between each exercise and set. Obviously you have reached your goal on the visual aspect of what you look like. But me, I'm just a little pigeon cracked out of the egg. And I'm trying to put on that mass still. I'm not sure if being so intense with my workouts helps me, or if I should take a different approach and take a little longer in order to gain more mass. Best wishes. God bless. Pablo, Naples, Florida. First off, Pablo, you're not a little pigeon just cracked out of the egg, man. You're a guy that wants to improve his life. You're one of the few people in this world. You're the people that I respect, because you're willing to put the work in for a better result instead of just sitting around bitching and complaining about, you know, the bed you're sleeping in. You're actually getting the fuck up and making your bed. You know, see, you're doing everything you're supposed to do. Don't think you're a little fucking pigeon, man. You might look like a pigeon in the mirror, but inside you're a tiger, and that's gonna fucking grow into something special. So keep the fight alive, guys. Let's get into this. Great question. So how do we build mass? How long do we go in the gym to build mass? You're working out in your body, the bodybuilding aspect is such a balance. It's like an it's like my fish tank, for example. There's so many factors that go into that water. You know, we had the nitrates and the ammonia levels, the salt levels, pH balances, the temperature, the food and stuff, the fish eating and shitting it and everything else, the decomposition. All that shit changes the balance of it, right? And it's either going to promote a healthy tank or it's going to decrease the tank. That's just like bodybuilding. There's so many variables going into it. One is our goal. What is our goal in the gym? What are we trying to get? That's going to dictate our actions. Depending if we're trying to do endurance training, build our aerobic strength, or trying to put on mass, trying to build the endurance of the muscle, trying to lose fat. All those things are different time frames in the gym. But we want to get out of the gym at the point where our body has reached the maximum strain and stress, and get out, repair it with nutrition, and then rest it and rebuild it. We don't grow in the gym, guys. We grow outside the gym. All we do in the gym is stimulate the muscle and then have micro trauma, tearing of the actin and myosin filaments. Once that happens, we get out, we replace it with protein and nutrition. That repairs the muscle, and then we rest it to let it solidify and get strong. Kind of like mortar mix, right? If you go to the Home Depot and you get a bag of mortar, it's powder. That's just not strong. It blows away. The wind blows it away. How's that going to hold up the rocks and everything? It doesn't. That's just your muscle, right? But then when we add water to it, we have a chemical reaction. We stimulate it, right? And we start mixing it up. Now all of a sudden we have a bucket of paste, like pancake mix. That's the best you get out of the gym, guys. That's all you're going to get. You're not going to get all these muscles out of the gym. No. You're just going to get that fucking powder turned into paste. And it's not until you get out of the gym and give it nutrition, aka air hitting that paste, put in the wall and letting it rest and sit, will that paste turn into a rock hard substance and hold something for eternity. That's the same kind of metaphor as the gym. A little dumbed down, but anyway, the factors that go into how long you go into the gym. One is your conditioning level. The better shape you're in, the better your body gets rid of CO2 and depletes the lactic acid buildup in the muscle, meaning the longer you can maintain it. A guy that's just starting and running, right, who hasn't run forever, he goes out and tries to run 2 miles, he can't. He might get a half a mile and he's walking, he might not even be able to walk 2 miles. But as he keeps doing it, his ATP and the Krebs cycle, and his body's able to grab the nutrition, the oxygen, and get rid of the CO2 and the lactic acid, and all of a sudden he gets stronger and stronger, and then he starts running, you know, the 2 miles in 10 minutes each mile. And then as over time, he starts to run maybe 10 miles at like an 8-minute pace. That's the same thing with working out. The longer you've been in the system, the stronger your body is, and the more effectiveness it is, the more efficient it is. That's the goal. It's not the quantity of the time in the gym. It's the quality of the minutes in the gym. to try to get the most effective workout, the effective workout. Now the effective workout, once you know what your goal is in the gym, is also a variable of many different biosystems, that balance like the fish tank. What are those things? Well, your lifting tempo, the speed of which you're pressing the concentric motion and then the eccentric, the lowering of the weight. That time frame. Your time in between sets. How much rest in between each set. How much rest in between each exercise. The exercises you're doing, are they isolated movements or compound movements? Are you working on free weight? Those last secondary movements, to control the balance of it, or you're on a machine. All controls different aspects on how much time you can spend in the gym. If you're working out in the morning or you're working out in the evening, affects your duration of your workout to be most effective. Imagine like stock market, meaning what happened yesterday doesn't have anything to do with today. I mean, it's like roulette, it's like red or black. It doesn't matter if there's been 15 reds. It doesn't mean it's going to be a black. It could be 16 reds, Our body isn't that way, though. Our body has its own language. And you guys might be like, yo, just tell me the fucking answer. How long would I need to be in the gym if I want to build mass? Well, it doesn't work that way, guys. I'm not trying to just get you a degree. I want you to get a fucking PhD. I want you to know your body, know it. I'm not giving you the fish dinner. I'm teaching you how to fish. So the more and more you go through the gym and you start feeling your muscles, I'm not getting the pump today, or wow, I'm really getting the burn, or this and that, you start understanding why that's happening. So you can apply what you're learning, what I'm telling you, to get that effective workout, to know when to sell the fucking stock for the maximum reward. Instead of just holding on to it and seeing that price go down so much, and you're like, fuck it, it's already down so much, I might as well ride it out, all the way down to bankrupt. We don't want to do that. The gym, guys, it's a process of stimulating the muscles, right? And then it's a micro tear of the muscle. That's all we do in the gym. That's that pace, that pancake mix I'm talking about. That's the best you can do in the gym, right? The rest of it is adding a protein element right into the gym, repairing the muscles, and then the rest in the muscles. That's going to elongate the muscles. The tear is a healthy tear of the muscle. That's actin and myosin protein filaments ripping. And then with the rest and repair, they grow back, elongating the muscle belly, building muscle size. That's what I'm trying to do. The hypertrophy of the muscle, the building the mass. So how does it all work, guys? There's four main hormones that the bodybuilder is aware of. That's most effective for bodybuilding and building on size. Those four things are your natural testosterone, your natural growth hormone, your insulin, and then your cortisol. The first three are positives. The first three are the ones that help to build the muscle, meaning your natural testosterone helps to aid the protein synthesis of muscle building. Boom, we need that, don't we? Your natural growth hormone helps to repair muscle tissue and it boosts your immune system. We need that. Your insulin helps to transport your amino acids to your muscles to get the nutrition, so you can get all that good stuff into your muscles and grow them. Cortisol is like the governor of a golf cart. It's a counteractive. It's when you've hit maximum, stress on your body, and your body temperature rises to the point, or there's tremendous amount of mental or physical strain and stress on the body. Cortisol comes in, it's a governor to shut you the fuck down. It's a safety measure. Like that golf cart is a governor on that, meaning you go so fast. The engine can probably make that little golf cart go 80 miles an hour. But no golf course is going to allow you to go 80 miles an hour down the fairway. So they put a governor on there so it can only go so fast. You can hit the gas all you want, it's only going to go so fast, no matter how hard you hit that pedal. That's the cortisone. That's after all your muscle glycogen in the gym. Your workout's you've been going in there for a while, right? You're in there, you're killing it, you're doing everything you can. And you're like, keep going, man. The more is better, more is better. Not so much, guys. More is not better. Less is more, really, here. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. But the cortisol is like, as your body temperature goes up and all the stress in your muscles and everything else, you're burning through all the glycogen, your muscle glycogen, and then your natural energy is all tapped out. Your gas tank's down to nothing. You're burning fumes now. It's time to get out of the gym, but you're not. You keep going. So all of a sudden now your lactic acid's building up in your body. Then cortisol comes in and shuts you the fuck down like a governor. And what does cortisol do? It takes protein and turns it into energy. The opposite of what we're trying to do. That's what I'm saying is like, when I say like your lifting program, your cardio program, diet, nutrition, and your rest all hold the same weight, They do, because if you go to the gym over and over again and you don't rest your body, that cortisol will turn that muscle into energy to use to build muscle, but you're trying to build the muscle, but cortisol is taking the muscle, breaking it down to give you energy to keep going. You've hit the point of no return. You can get weaker in that process, guys. That's why less can be more here. But how do we know when that point is? It's different for everybody. When I say the better shape you're in, the longer you've been in the gym, the more effective your body is. The better your body can get the CO2 out and the lactic acid out. So the lactic acid doesn't build up and say, yo, cortisol, come in and help me out. I'm getting pretty high here. I need some help. Let's shut this motherfucker down because he's like a madman. He's going to kill us. And then, when that acid gets up way high, cortisol comes in and says, yo, shut down fucking shop. We're done. But if you're in better shape, you can get rid of that lactic acid. On top of that, the better shape you're in, the faster your blood's pumping from your heart to your body, taking all that, the insulin and your amino acids, which are the fundamental building block for your protein synthesis, to your muscles and all that nutrition. So it's a better pump and everything else. Better shape you're in. So depending on what kind of shape you're in is going to depict how long you can work out. When you're in bad shape and you're just going running for the first time, you might not be able to run a mile. But if you're in pretty good shape, you can probably go, 10 miles at a pretty good, good pace. You build up to that, guys. So it's different. There's no generalization to answer. I can't say, oh, you're going to say you go there for 55 minutes, guys. No. There is somewhat of a generalization, though, guys. And we'll get into this. So muscle building, right? We want to go long enough where we've hit to the point of the maximum price of that stock. The maximum price. How do we start that off? First thing we do when we go in there, whatever muscle group we're doing, whatever we're doing, right? Compound movements to start our workout. Compound movements are movements that hit the entire muscle region, whatever that targeted thing is. Like for legs, if we're doing legs, a compound movement would be a squat. A squat being because it's working your quads, your hams, your ass, your calves. It's working multiple muscles in that region at the same time. Activating everything, waking everybody up, get ready to fight. Here we go, we're going to war. You start off with that, and then you work your way into your iso lifts, your isolation lifts, which is like a thigh extension, just working the quads. The generalization, the general rule I go by, guys, and I've been doing this for a little bit, so my body is adapted to it. It's in good shape for lifting. I do anywhere from like 8 to 10 exercises. Every exercise is 4 sets with a drop set at the end. I complete that exercise, each one of those 8, maybe 8 to 10 exercises. Each one of them I complete within 10 minutes. And I have a partner. My partner goes, I go. Partner goes, I go. Partner goes, I go. Partner goes, I go. Drops it on both. Boom. Next exercise. The time frame in between, so that's 10 minutes per exercise. If I'm doing 8 exercises, that's an hour and 20 minutes. And that's the point of kind of like, get the fuck out. That's as much strain as your body can recover for a day. Do you know what I mean? You want to tap that ass and then let it build. You know what I mean? So if you go any more, then you go into that point of cortisol coming in and lactic acid building up and everything else, where your body needs energy because you're tapped out. So where's the energy? There's nothing in your gut. You burn through all the carbs and everything else. Where's it going to find the energy? It's going to fucking start breaking down proteins, your muscle mass, for energy in order to build muscle, whatever you're doing. That's why I always say, guys, when you guys go and lift and you finish your workouts, get home and put the nutrition in there and start resting. Do not jump on the treadmill and do cardio. Because basically what's just happened is you just burn through all your muscle glycogen, all your energy, right? And your muscles are pumped and everything else, and you rip them off. You got the nice big bucket of paste, of mortar mix, it's ready to be put on the wall and dry and hold that stone and let it sit and harden. But no, you're like, fuck, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna get on the treadmill and keep on running. Well, you have no energy left. Whether you think you do, maybe you're mentally strong. I push through it, Well, you're pushing through it to be a loser. Because as you push through it, your body's like, I need energy. How am I going to find energy? Cortisol's going to come in there and start breaking down your muscle for the fucking energy. So the whole reason why you went to the gym to build muscle, you're now breaking it down in order to continue a process of building muscle or staying in the gym for whatever reason and coming out with 50% growth potential as opposed to 100%. When I was a little kid growing up, I was like, like 12 or something, I went to this Gold's Gym around the corner of my house. And there was this guy there named Anthony. Kind of like my mentor growing up, I was asking him all these questions. He was like a big juice head, and he's all like intense and everything. He wear these sunglasses. I'm like, dude, what Anthony? Why are you wearing sunglasses? He's like, Greg, you can't let the weights know what you're thinking. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? Can't let the weights? They're mysterious. Don't let them know what you're thinking. I go, dude, you're fucked up, man. But anyway, Anthony, he tore his arm or something, and he got injured, and he was out for a while. And so the doctor said, hey, go back to the gym, after so much rehab, but go in slow. Only 3 days a week for a couple months. So that's what he did. He listened to the doctor, wasn't stupid. He went in there, and now he was going every single day for like 3 hours. He just loved it, man. He just felt alive in there. And maybe it was wasn't quite cost effective on time, but he just loved the environment and everything else. So in that sense, it was fine because it wasn't really about putting on size. He just really enjoyed the process of being there. It made him feel alive, whatever. But at the end of the day, you want to get something out of that work, If you put the work in, you want to get a fucking reward, don't you? Of course. So the doctor said you're going to go 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's it. Hour and a half, that's all I want you in there. So that's what he did for a couple months. He's still doing that today. Still doing that today. Why? Because he got so much results out of it. Because it's the balance, guys. He wasn't in there as long. He's in there a half the time, and then only 3 times a week instead of 7 times a week. And his results were tremendous. Leaps and bounds whatever's been before. And why is that? Because he finally found the balance. He was listening to his body, not his ego. He was allowing nutrition to come in. He was activating the muscles. When you go to the gym, guys, there's five steps in order to grow muscles. The first thing you have to do is stimulate the muscle. That's totally the weight bearing, how much load you're putting on your arms, right? How much you got. The second thing is you have to call micro trauma to the muscle, the healthy injury of the muscle, the tearing of it. Those 2 processes are in the gym. Done. Then you get out. Then it's about putting protein into your body, an external protein factor. That's going to help to build and repair that muscles, right? Once that protein comes in, then it repairs it, and then you rest it, and then you got a fucking piece of rock that's standing against gravity on the wall hard as shit. That's good shit right there. So Anthony saw that. But it wasn't until he had to go through the adversity of an injury, which probably wouldn't have happened if he wasn't overtraining so much. It wasn't until he went through that injury that his doctor said you have to slow it down and only go this amount of time, that he really saw the benefit of the balance of it all. Where his duration was half the time. I'm a firm believer that hour and a half probably is about your max. And I've been doing this for a while. That's about the point where I'm tapped out. I know if I go any more, it's going to be the detriment of my own success, of growth. That's about as long as I go. Hour and a half. That is the duration of my workout when building mass. It's also directly correlated to the time in between sets. Hour and a half workout, minute and a half rest. Does that make sense? If you're doing endurance, trying to build the endurance of the muscle, your time in the gym is going to be about an hour, right? Hour workout, minute rest. You see the correlation? So if it's an hour and a half workout, that hour and a half is a minute and a half in between sets. If it's to build the endurance, the aerobic strength of the anaerobic process, that's an hour workout with a 1 minute break in between, maybe 45 seconds. Because you're trying to work through the lactic acid buildup. When that lactic acid, the better shape you're in, that's why it's so important not just to lift, guys, but to do cardio too. And if you really want to burn off that last bit of fat, like I was saying, you do it by lifting. Higher reps, less duration of rest in between, and you keep going that way. That's going to build the endurance of the muscle. When you build the endurance of the muscle, what happens? Your muscles are more effective, more efficient. When that happens, and you can get rid of the CO2 and the lactic acid, so the lactic acid doesn't build up. What happens when the lactic acid builds up? It starts knocking on cortisol's door. Cortisol's door, the hormone, says, yo buddy, this guy's going crazy out here. Shut him down. Cortisol wakes up and goes, let's do it. Boom! Hits the stop sign on your workout. And then starts grabbing all that muscle that you've been building over the time, and it starts breaking it down for energy if you don't listen to it and get at the gym to supply energy for the body to keep going what you're doing. How do we decrease those buildup of lactic acid, which is when it's time to sell that stock? The way we decrease that is the better shape you're in, for one. The better shape, the longer you guys do this, the better shape, the more productive and efficient your body will be. So it can get rid of the CO2 and the lactic acid so you can stay in the gym longer. You get better and get a longer workout. Second thing is in between sets, guys. Your breathing is very imperative. Deep breaths, in and out, in your nose, out your mouth. I know it sounds weird, but you gotta blow out all that CO2. Deep breaths, deep breaths. That's gonna help to push out that CO2, help that Krebs cycle, get that lactic acid out. The second thing you wanna do is bring some amino acids, bring some liquid nutrition into your workout, because that's gonna be your energy, guys. That's what you're gonna need. Your BACs, amino acids, a little bit compound sugars and stuff. That's gonna give you a little bit more energy for your body to burn off of when your muscle glycogen goes out the window. The last thing, if you really, if you're at the point where you're not in that good a shape, make all your workouts, if you want to build the size, guys, focus on all of the eccentric portion, the lowering of the weight when the muscle's flexed and you're elongating it. So this is concentric, right? This is concentric coming up, the shortening of the bicep muscle. The eccentric portion is as I'm lowering it, I'm elongating the muscle as I'm bringing it down. That puts on the most strain on the muscle. That's where the most muscle trauma, most tearing occurs. Hence, the most growth happens. That's the biggest mass build. It's the negative rep, not the positive rep, guys. And if you don't believe me, go in there and change your whole workout up. Go heavy with a partner, and your bench press, put on twice the weight you usually do. And just lower it down at a 5-second count. And have your buddy pop back up and lower it back down. That's your reps. Where you're doing like 10, 8, 6, 6, 4 sets, pyramid down in reps, up in weight. This lowering, that's all eccentric. That's going to grow mass fast. Faster than doing the concentric motion. Most guys are like, boom! They just bring it down real fast and pop it up. And they just hurl over the eccentric portion. And that's where all the growth is. It's really like a fire up, that's your power, boom! And then lowering it down. So maybe 2 seconds up, 4 seconds down. When I said the process in the gym to make that paste and that pancake mix is to stimulate the muscle, and then that causes micro trauma. The way you cause the stimulation is the weight in your hands. That activates it. The micro trauma of the tearing of the muscle is how long the tension is on the muscle. So the longer the rep is, the more energy you're going to spend, but the more you get out of it, the more effective it is. Meaning your workout duration can be shorter now. It's not the quantity of time, it's the quality of the time. The quality of every single rep. It's not a race, guys. It's like you really got to take your mindset and your eyes. I know it sounds kind of weird and maybe meatheaded-ish, but like in Happy Gilmore, that movie with Adam Sandler, he's like, be the ball. You got to be the ball. You want to go home. He's putting. You got to be the muscle. You really, if you're doing chest, you got to think about the muscle and hold it and know the muscle's growing when the weight's in the hand. And then the time of rest in between is as imperative as the set time itself. That's when you're deep breathing and everything else. And it's about being smart. And the way you figure all this out is by going through the motions. Listening to your body, writing that journal down. Saying, okay, today I went in there really hard, and I got a great pump. I wonder what that was. It could have been more sleep last night. It could have been my pre-workout nutrition. It could have been the way I lifted. With different machines or free weights, whatever else, and you start making notes of this. And unlike the stock market, guys, we have a memory clause in the gym. It can be repeated. Even though the biosystem keeps changing, we change and alter with it. But at least we know what true north is now. We know the direction of success. That's learning how to fish, guys. That's knowing when the cortisol level is coming in, when the lactic acid is building up, how to mitigate that. The cortisol's coming no matter what, guys. If you stay in there long enough, it's going to come. You can't stay in there for 10 hours a day and expect any results. It doesn't work that way. You need the rest and nutrition behind it, and it's just as imperative. Just like after your workout, after your set, the rest in between sets is as important as the set itself of lifting. They all go together, guys. And once you realize this stuff, it really gets exciting because it's like you know how to build the house now. It's not a mystery. You've unlocked that key. Not every workout's different for everybody, but you've unlocked the key of potential of what you can be. And then it's off and running, guys. Then it gets exciting. Because every minute turns into some kind of result. That's a good fucking day right there. Very long-winded as always, guys. Pablo, great question. I hope I answered that well for you guys. So quick recap. Compound movements to start your workout, guys. Compound movements. Multi-level muscle movements at the same time, working the entire muscle region, And then, so let's say you're doing eight exercises. The first 3 are your muscle building ones, We have that, a minute and a half rest in between. Heavy weight coming down in reps, up in weight per set. throw some eccentrics in there, do some negatives, right? Those are your 3 sets. That's muscle building. And then after that, we go into the isolation lifts. Instead of the compound, the isolation is where we go in each body region of that muscle. So for the chest, it'd be the lower, the middle, the upper chest. Then we're doing the flies for the width of the chest, and we're doing more presses for the thickness of the chest. And that portion of which is a higher rep, which is also helping to build the endurance of the muscle, which is very key to help to lower that lactic acid. When the lactic acid builds up, guys, cortisol comes in and shuts your workout down. The 4 major hormones that are for bodybuilding and what's most imperative is your testosterone, right? Your natural testosterone. That's going to help to build the protein synthesis of making the muscle, right? The second thing is going to be your natural growth hormone. That's a great hormone that goes in there and helps to build muscle tissue, injured muscle tissue, and help rebuild that, as well as in boosting your immune system. Insulin, the transporter that takes all those nutrients to your body. The better shape you're in, the faster it's going to your body to get the CO2 out and the lactic acid out. Those are the 3 good ones. The bad ones are cortisol. After you've hit that maximum point where you're supposed to sell that stock, if you keep going, cortisol's going to come in there and hit the brakes on you. That's a governor. That's a golf cart saying you're not going 80 miles an hour down that fairway. How do we lower that? How do we lower that? The lactic acid buildup. So if the cortisol doesn't knock on cortisol's door and say, hey, I need some help, brother. Let's get in there and shut this fucker down. Well, the better shape you're in is, for one, the more you do it, the longer your workouts can be. Deep breathing in between your rest sets, in between your sets, the rest period. Deep breathing is really good. Bring a little amino acids and some kind of drink, a little bit of sugar water to give you some more energy to keep you going through all that stuff. And then concentrate on the eccentric portion. Eccentric lifts, it really minimizes, you don't need to do as much, man. It's more effective. It seems weird, but just try it, man. Don't knock it till you try it, guys. You're gonna love it. The eccentric portion is just amazing. Like, you go through a whole cycle, right? 1 week, the next week, or you do 2-3 weeks. Let's say even a month, right? And you're doing a body part a day. You do the whole body once a week or something. Do 3 weeks of whatever you want to do. And the last week, do all negatives that week. All negatives, man. All eccentric, low and slow, heavyweight. Watch it grow, man. It's gonna be off the charts. Hope that helped, guys. Greg Plitt, help me stay fit, man. Thanks for watching. Really good question, Pablo. And you're not a little pigeon cracked out of an egg, man. You can grow up to be the mother hen. Later.